From Wish TV and the All Indiana Podcast Network, this is the News 8 Daily 8 Podcast with Wish TV's Kylie Conway. A Wish TV News 8 update.
Hi, this is Kylie Conway, and this is your News 8 Daily 8 for Tuesday, March 1st. A beautiful above-average day expected to kick off the month. Enjoy lots of sunshine and mild temperatures with highs in the mid-50s to low 60s. And we are learning more about the moments leading up to a shootout between IMPD officers and another man. We first brought you the breaking news on Daybreak yesterday morning. I talked about it on the podcast yesterday as well. IMPD has identified the suspect as 31-year-old Malik Hill. Police say somebody reported that Hill was driving a red car while exposing himself. Two officers found him on Woodlawn Avenue and ordered him to stop, but they say Hill ignored them. Police say there was an exchange of gunfire and an officer in training was shot. IMPD also confirms that the other officer at the scene shot the suspect at least once. IMPD Chief Randall Taylor says he's still not sure who or what initiated the shots.
In this case, I have no idea why this guy would feel a need to run. I would have no idea why he would allegedly shoot at our officers. Those are things that we hope to find out as the investigation proceeds.
The officer shot remains in serious condition at last check. Police have not confirmed the officer's name, but a police report shows the victim is Thomas Mangan. Mangan is listed as one of 169 officers who responded to the shooting. Police say Hill will remain in custody while being treated at the hospital. He's under arrest for a warrant for theft and resisting law enforcement. Police are also trying to figure out if the shooting of an 11-year-old boy and an 18-year-old woman was targeted. It happened near North Bevel Avenue on the Near East Side yesterday morning. Officers found both victims had been shot inside the home. Some neighbors said that they heard some shots. Others said they didn't hear anything, but one that we spoke to said that they certainly don't like it happening in their neighborhood.
I love our neighborhood, specifically our street, so it's just kind of scary to think that something like this could happen on our street. It being like a targeted thing or not.
Police are asking anyone in the area for security video that could help. They've not released any information about the suspect. Russia and Ukraine say they will keep talking. Their first formal discussions aimed at ending the war didn't end in an agreement. New satellite images show the Russian military advancing on Kyiv. Analysts say a military convoy of tanks and armed transport vehicles now stretches 40 miles long. With Russia's Vladimir Putin raising fears of a nuclear attack, Ukraine is moving to solidify its ties to the West by applying to join the European Union. The Russian military denies it's targeting neighborhoods, though homes, schools, and hospitals show clear damage from shelling.
This escalating violence, which is resulting in civilian deaths, including children, is totally unacceptable. Enough is enough.
The U.S. announced it is expelling 12 Russian United Nations diplomats for spying. Governor Holcomb is ordering a review of all state contracts with companies that are Russian-owned or affiliated. Holcomb signed an executive order addressing potential Russian cyber attacks, the spending of Indiana tax money in Russia, and Russian funding that goes to universities in the state. Holcomb is also encouraging Indiana businesses to strengthen efforts to prevent cyber attacks. We know of one tech company pledging not to do business in Russia. Drone Deck is developing a smart mailbox specifically for drone deliveries. The CEO, Dan O'Toole, says he's working to take the company global, but has decided not to work on a patent in Russia because of the invasion.
This is a human story more than a political one, and we think we need to make a stand for human rights. These people are living their lives with their family, doing what we all do every day, and all of a sudden your family's asked to take up arms and defend your very way of life. Nobody wants to be in that position.
O'Toole says he hopes other small companies will follow. A former Indiana University basketball player says he's now out of Ukraine. Maurice Creek has been playing professional basketball in the country. He's been posting on social media about feeling stuck and helpless. His most recent tweet announced he's on his way to Romania after a 12-hour evacuation. And tonight, President Biden will explain America's role in Russia's war against Ukraine in his first State of the Union address. White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki says Biden will speak to rallying the West in support of the Ukrainian people. Psaki says Biden will also talk about his plans for fighting inflation and the pandemic, plus his nomination of Ketanji Brown Jackson to the Supreme Court. You can also tune in at 8 o'clock tonight. We will be carrying his entire address live at 9 o'clock on Wish TV, and also we'll stream it online at wishtv.com. And politicians will not be the only ones at the Capitol for the State of the Union. Truckers are expected to be there as well, protesting COVID-19 restrictions and mandates. Amy Kiley explains the protest goes on even as masks can come off.
Truckers protesting COVID-19 rules are making their way from as far away as Los Angeles to Washington, D.C. They plan to demonstrate around the State of the Union address Tuesday.
I should not have to show a card to go buy a burger. I should not have to cover my face, wear a face diaper to get on an airplane.
But when the truckers get to the District of Columbia, they won't have to wear masks. Even lawmakers attending President Joe Biden's speech no longer have to do that.
I would say the president is very powerful, but he couldn't make us be in the green zone that we're in right now in D.C. That's why we are not required. We're not going to be required to wear masks.
In fact, more and more places are relaxing COVID-19 restrictions.
I'm excited about the spring and the summer and what it's going to mean for everybody, that now we can all see our smiles.
But some truckers are still on the way to the U.S. Capitol with supporters cheering them on.
We're behind you, and thank you for what you're doing.
Among their beefs, Biden's federal vaccine mandates. Courts have blocked the ones for private companies and federal agencies. They're still in place for healthcare workers and the military. Other employers can choose whether to require vaccinations.
Our government can only have as much power as we give them. And that's what this is all about.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
Attorneys are choosing a jury in the first federal trial from charges in the Capitol riot. The Justice Department accuses a man from Texas of bringing a gun to the riots. They say Guy Reffitt fought police and threatened his children to keep quiet when he returned home. 34 potential jurors were questioned yesterday in Washington, D.C. Witness testimony could start today or Wednesday. The trial is expected to last more than a week. Former President Trump and two of his children are fighting the orders to give depositions. A judge ordered Donald Trump, Ivanka Trump, and Donald Trump Jr. to appear by Thursday next week in the New York State investigation into the Trump Organization. The three filed an appeal yesterday and plan another legal challenge soon. If they are forced to appear, legal experts say they'll almost certainly refuse to answer most questions, citing the protections of the Fifth Amendment. And a controversial school curriculum bill is dead in Indiana. It would have limited how issues of race and social justice are taught in state classrooms. State senators had until the end of the day yesterday to debate amendments, but the bill's sponsor didn't call for a debate. The bill placed broad restrictions on teaching about racism and political topics. The language was rewritten twice in response to pushback from teachers and other critics.
You have some folks that felt like it didn't go far enough, and some folks that felt like it was just difficult policy and not maybe the right policy to begin to dictate what's going on in schools in that way.
Tens of thousands of Hoosiers showed up at the State House to express their opposition to this bill that was viewed as a censorship bill, as a bill that takes the rights away of teachers to teach about certain historical facts in our classrooms. And I'm very happy today that that bill is dead and is not moving forward.
Leaders say they might add some parts of the bill to other legislation before the end of the session. Survivors of extreme COVID cases now have a new place to turn for help. IU Health Ball Memorial Hospital in Muncie has a support group for those who spent long stretches in intensive care because of the virus. Doctors have long known that extended ICU stays are traumatic and lead to challenges that can take years to sort through. It's called post-intensive care syndrome. Since COVID cases have led to many of the ICU cases over the last 2 years, some hospitals are connecting survivors to share their stories.
To know there's other caregivers that were going through the same thing.
Someone might mention something at one of the meetings that registers with you.
The support group meets the third Tuesday of every month. The next meeting is the evening of March 15th. And today is the long-awaited return of a donut chain to Central Indiana. Krispy Kreme is opening up in Castleton. It's on 82nd Street. The grand opening is underway right now. 50 people were in line at the opening at 6 o'clock this morning, with more than 20 cars lined up in the drive-thru. It'll be open 6 to 10 Sunday through Thursday and 6 to 11 Fridays and Saturdays. For the first week, you may be able to get an extra treat, 120 people, or 10 dozen, if you prefer to say it that way, will get a dozen donuts a month for 1 year. And finally, the people of Richmond may go to the high school for the basketball during the winter, but they stay for the sweet treat. News 8's Olivia Ray introduces us to the 88-year-old Richmond native who's become known for her baking skills.
Tucked away in Wayne County, just east of Indy, the city of Richmond is known for a couple of things, like its Red Devil High School pride, the beautiful Tiernan Center, and Mrs. Lawrence's famous chocolate cake, because believe me, it's just that good.
I am always the first one in the hospitality room. I get at least 2 slices, put a cover on it, put it in the fridge so nobody else can get it.
Cake is amazing, but Joanne is equally amazing. She's definitely the queen of hospitality for Indiana high school basketball.
88-year-old Joanne Lawrence is Richmond royalty, reigning for over 50 years as one of the Red Devils' most loyal fans.
My husband graduated from Richmond. In fact, he played on the 53 basketball team that went to state. We went to every game. So from 54, every ball game that in town and out of town.
And paired with her perfect attendance record, Miss Lawrence's devotion has nourished the entire Red Devil community. For nearly 4 decades, she has generously served coaches, players, officials, and anyone who walks through the doors of the Richmond Athletic Hospitality Room.
And a teaspoon of baking soda.
Everything is made from scratch. And at the center of it all, her famous chocolate cake.
She's a fixture. She's like the mayor of the Tiernan Center here. People come in from all over and they always ask about it.
I can say that Rick Pitino came down one day and he came in and, oh, that's pretty good. It makes Richmond sort of stand out. That people will say, oh, we want to come there. So, and it does make you feel good. I get tickled because I don't think I'm anybody special. It's just I've got something that people like. It's homemade. I doubt if I've got $5 in a cake, but it spreads a lot more than that.
While humble in her efforts, Miss Lawrence has cooked up a sweet tradition that reminds us all that there are invaluable lessons to be learned on the Hoosier High School hardwood. Olivia Ray, Wish TV, wishtv.com, and follow us on Facebook.
This has been your News 8 Daily 8 for Wish TV. I'm Kylie Conway. Online at wishtv.com and follow us on Facebook when you search Wish TV.
This is the News 8 Daily 8 podcast with Wish TV's Kylie Conway. A Wish TV News 8 update on demand. For even more, on demand and on the go. Connect with Wish TV on Facebook at wishtv.com and on the free Wish TV mobile app. Thank you for listening. And be sure to like, subscribe, and follow this podcast for updates every weekday morning on the All Indiana Podcast Network and wherever you get your podcast.